Hey everyone, I just recorded 10 minutes and then decided that I didn't like it, so I'm going to try and record this again. And if it's anything like the last one was going, it'll probably be 2 parts. I'm recording it a day or two early because last week was 2 days late, so I figured it kind of evens it out. Also, I have time right now, nobody's home, it's quiet. I don't have to worry about um, I don't have to worry about stopping it and going and um, re-uploading and breaking things up and all that stuff. So I have more stuff to talk about this week than I had last week, which is exciting because that actually makes me feel like we're getting somewhere. I think I told you last week that Glenn kind of put me in charge of not buying, but picking out the rings. And I found a couple, like 2 or 3 amazing wedding ring sites, and I don't have it on this computer because I'm on Glenn's computer right now and it's on my laptop. But after I upload it, I don't know if it'll be tonight, but I will go and get the links and put them in the description bar here or there or wherever it is now. It keeps changing. So you guys can go look too, and maybe you'll find one that I didn't. Anyways, I found the 3 sites and they all have really good prices and really nice rings. Like I think a lot of them are really gorgeous. Since I was looking, I don't have a wedding ring. I think I told you that. Or not, I mean engagement ring. I don't have an engagement ring. So I was looking for 3-ring matching sets, and it ends up being cheaper that way rather than buying an engagement ring and then a wedding ring set, or an engagement ring, a wedding ring, and another wedding ring. And I found some gorgeous ones. I bookmarked like 4 or 5, and I might make a video on them either tomorrow because I'm off, or if I get lazy, I'll just add links in the description bar of this one, so check back or ask me or whatever. Anyways, I found some really gorgeous ones. I was so excited. I went and showed Glenn, and he didn't like any of them. And I asked him why, because I had made sure I picked out ones that didn't look too feminine, didn't look too masculine, or like the man's wedding band didn't look too feminine and my wedding band didn't look too masculine. And I was so excited. And he tells me he doesn't like them because he doesn't want any diamonds, any gems of any kind in his ring. I think he thinks it looks like too girly. He just wants a plain band. And the site I was on, actually I think I found all 3 or 4 of these 3-ring sets from one site, and that was pretty much all they had, was ones with diamonds in them, and like all of it, because it was typically, some of them varied, but typically it was an engagement ring with a bigger stone in it, maybe a couple around it, and then both the wedding bands had little mini diamonds in them, and they were all like that. So I was like, okay, I'll go and find another site, which is how I stumbled across the second site. And they had gorgeous stuff too, but it was the same thing. A lot of them were like 90% of them were with diamonds in all 3 bands. And I found one, and I can't remember if it was on the first site or the second site, but it was maybe it was the first site, because it was a 3-ring set, and it was so gorgeous, and I would have died if we got it. It was only $1,400, and I had actually budgeted $1,000 for the bands, and he was planning on spending like $600 to $800 on my engagement ring, so $1,400 actually saved like $200 to $400. And I don't know. I will definitely give you a link to this ring just so you can go drool at it, because I won't be getting it, so you can't drool at it on my hand. But it's gorgeous. Like, anybody gets it, I'm totally jealous of you. But anyways, so I went to look at this other site, and they didn't have any really. I found a couple ones that had plain bands, but I thought they were really ugly. Or the man's ring looked good, and Glenn was like, oh hey, that's awesome, but then the engagement ring looked horrible. So I was like, okay, we're just gonna have to pick a type of metal, and we picked white gold. We're okay with like a two-tone thing, like mainly white gold, and then maybe it's outlined or edged or whatever you want to call it in another type of metal, but mainly white gold. We picked and so we decided, well, I decided, I was up until like 4 or 5 doing this in the morning. I decided to go look for just his and her matching wedding bands. And then when he went and picked out my engagement ring, the only thing he had to think of was what color metal it was, so it matched, and I didn't have like a sterling silver ring or engagement ring and a yellow gold wedding band, or something weird. So I went to look for just bands, and I don't really care if I have gems or diamonds on my wedding band, but I want it to have something. I don't want it to just be this strip of gold around my finger, like etching or some sort of design. And if it had any design, it had diamonds in it on both rings. And, well, I shouldn't say that, but then there were other ones, like there were wedding rings that had like barbed wire etched into them, and I was like, because that's not masculine at all. Uh, like, that would just be weird, like, oh, this is my wedding ring with barbed wire etched into it. Or they were pretty, like I found a couple ones that were really pretty, and then when you looked at the measurements, the bands were going to be not thick, but wide. I mean, not that wide, obviously, but they were just going to be really wide, like twice the size of the bands I normally wear. I don't like thin bands. I don't want to have like half of my, like, I don't know. Here's my knuckle, okay? Like I don't know, where is it? Right here is my knuckle. I don't want half of this to be taken up by a ring. So yeah, I'm having a horrible time. So I'm still looking for wedding bands, just the 2 bands. And I wanted them to match, like at least mostly, because I don't want him to have like a plain band and then I'm like all gaudy with 80 bajillion diamonds or something. That was another thing. Diamonds aren't my favorite stone anyways. I mean, they're not bad, but they're not my favorite stone. And I was finding ones that I would really like the band, like in the 3-ring sets I'm talking about, sorry. I would really like the wedding band. It was really pretty. They had a couple diamonds in it, but it wasn't bad. But then the engagement ring was like encrusted with them, like the whole thing. It was just big old diamonds, and it wasn't even the price. It just looked retarded. Like they were thicker band engagement rings, and obviously not the under part of the band, but the whole top part of it would be like little mini diamonds, and then there'd be a big one. And I was like, that's too much. I did not want that. I'd be afraid, if I had that many diamonds on my hand, I'd be afraid to walk out the door because I would lose it. I really would. If I had like $2,000 worth of diamonds on my hand, that would be the time when I flung my hand and it got flung into traffic and a semi ran over it and then something else ran over it and it got thrown down a sewer pipe, or that's the kind of luck I have. So I'm having a hard time picking out the rings because I want them all to kind of match, and we're definitely going to have to buy the engagement ring separate. And I told Glenn that I didn't even need an engagement ring. I mean, we're already planning it. The wedding is like, May is 5 months beforehand, so like 5.5 months beforehand. And I don't need an engagement ring. It's not like a big thing to me. I mean, everybody knows I'm getting married. I don't need to be like, oh look, I have a ring. I'm definitely getting married. Or this hand, I guess. And he's like, no, you need an engagement ring. So yeah. So I might get my engagement ring on my wedding day, like along with everything else. I don't even know. Yeah, it's just been